Yes.
All right. Welcome to another exciting episode of Legacy Lounge podcast where we just talk about legacy, have a nice, cool, relaxed conversation to improve your life. And today, my special guest is Jazz, good longtime friend, also business partner of mine, just doing phenomenal things in the world right now. Jazz, anything you want to say? Anything you want to tell the people to introduce yourself?
Yes. Well, again, my name is Jazz. I prefer to go by Jazz. Well, I'm sorry, I prefer to go by Jazz. My real name is Jasmine, and I have gotten into this business recently, and it is so much fun. Like, if you are thinking about starting your own business, jumping out, venturing for yourself, definitely here to say, do it, and just ask questions later. But keep going, 1% better every day. That's all I can say.
Hey, that is the absolute truth. The absolute truth. So, most people know me, know that I'm in financial services, doing all types of insurance, retirement plans, investments, blah, 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 blah. We're not going to get into all the nitty gritty of that. We're just going to just have a conversation and just talk about some of the things that Jazz and I have been talking about offline, but now just making it a community conversation so that you can participate in it too. I know earlier we were talking about regrets, right?
Mhm.
And just different decisions and stuff that we made in the past. Let's start off with this. What is a ridiculous purchase that you've made that you regret, like a bad financial decision that you've made?
Bad. Okay. It's not just one. It's what we were talking about on Facebook earlier, and I was saying how my biggest um money trick for myself is normally I shop in, places that have online stores like Walmart or um Amazon, which is solely online. But regardless, if I have to go in the store and they have an online site like Walmart and I'm doing groceries or personal items, whatever, I prefer to look at everything online so that I can go in the store and get solely what I need. I put the amount that it all costs in my savings, my checkings account from my savings, and that's all I have in the store. And I'm not going to transfer over more because where's the limit to that? So my biggest regret is before I was started doing that, I would go in there and just, ooh, I like this. Ooh, I like this. Ooh, I like this. I don't even need it, but I'm just buying it because I see it, especially clothes. And just in excess, doing that so much, you spend so much money. And it's like, where did it go? Why am I doing this to myself? Like, yeah, what is yours?
Yeah, so for me, I think about this one Halloween in Columbia, South Carolina, in Five Points. I went to a bar and I spent, let's just say, a couple zeros,
That was so much.
and I don't talk to not one person I was with that night anymore. And
Oh,
I'm like, man, what happened? Just buying shots and bottles and rounds for everybody. And yeah, for a lot of
honestly,
people, I haven't talked to since that night. And then for a few particular people, like over time, like I haven't spoken to them.
yeah,
And I'm just like, man, again, if I
yeah,
had that
yeah.
money now.
Do you
But hey,
remember that because you remember it or because you saw your bank account?
yeah, I saw my bank account the next morning. I remember it was around Halloween, and I saw my bank account the next morning
Mm,
and was just like, it was crazy because a lot of people were dressed up as skeletons and zombies and stuff, and I couldn't remember names. I remember one person came up to me and was like, "My name's Rigor Mortis," and that was about it. And I bought that person tons of drinks that night. Like,
why though?
yeah, yeah. So, it was a good time, but you live and you learn. You can't spend all
True.
your money just good time and get away. Let me ask you this, Jazz. What was a ridiculous purchase that you don't regret?
Okay, I'm gonna be honest because I'm not trying to talk about like work because it's not work, so air quotes. Because it's more than just work. It's so fun. But when I left I live in Missouri now. I no longer work for the state of South Carolina since I moved away from South Carolina. But while I was still there working for the state, I built up my retirement account. Your money goes from your paycheck into that account. You build up so much over the years. And you can't withdraw it until you're like, what, 59 and a half years old. And so when I left and was no longer working there, my account went to inactive. I was no longer making interest on it. I wasn't earning anything. But if something happened in the stock market, I was able to lose some, all of my money. And that was, no, I wasn't feeling that. So the best purchase I ever made was rolling that money over into an annuity so that nothing can happen to it anymore. That's my money. It's not going to be subject to the stock market. I can pull it out later on and it's mine. I don't have to ask anybody anything about it. It's all me. And I got to get some more of these now because it is the best purchase I have ever made.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So with that, because I know there was a lot going into that. I remember when you were first learning about those products and things, but let me ask you this. What do you think is a common money belief that is outdated or that people have all wrong?
There's two. Of course, speaking from life insurance is life insurance. The word death is not even in there. So I don't know why people immediately think death. I understand you cash it out for the death benefit, but there's so much more to it that you can use in life because life insurance. And then the second is that you have to work and work and work and work. And if you don't, you're not going to have any money. And that's not true. You know, why are you making that face at me?
I'm just like, who the amount of times you said work, I'm like, is this that Drake song? Like, what is
I
going
mean,
on?
because that's what's happening. You know how many people I know who are currently working 3, 4 jobs instead of one, or, working for themselves even. And you're working 3, 4 jobs for years. If you're working that many jobs for years, what are you doing? If you were really making money,
Yeah.
you wouldn't have to be there for that long or doing all of them for that long. So what are you doing with your money? Why isn't your money making itself? Why are you making the money? And if you're making the money, you shouldn't have these jobs for so long. And so
Yeah.
yeah, that's a big one for me.
I was telling my wife yesterday how when I was at what I would consider my brokest, you know,
Mhm.
that was when I had the most jobs. And I'm like, people who work multiple jobs usually don't have a lot of money.
Right.
And it's not anything, it's not no fault or no shade against them. It's
Mhm.
just that those jobs aren't truly paying you what you're worth.
Right.
So then you have to get another one and another one and another. Man, that was a wild time. Fortunately enough, during that time, I also didn't need a lot of money. So
Yeah.
yeah, that was interesting.
I
Hmm.
think about the time that goes in there. If you're having to work all of these jobs for the money, where do you have time to even spend the money? When do you have time to enjoy the money that you're making or enjoy the what rent, mortgage that you're paying with that money? You're just throwing money at your rent, your mortgage, your utilities just to go to sleep, take a shower, and go back to work.
Yeah, it's interesting because I would say that percentage wise, I spend less money now than I did back then. And I think that goes has to do more with your relationship with money. Like, for example,
Yeah.
if there was any extra money that I had, I would find a way to spend it to get back to 0. Because I'm like, my thought
Right.
process was, "Oh, I got extra money, which means I got money to spend." Now I'm
Right.
like, "Okay, I need to have this minimum in my account at all time." And if there's extra money, that extra money now needs to go to work, not.
I That was a thing. I actually was gonna ask you when you said that you spent the money on on the people over Halloween. I was gonna ask you, why did you do that? Because I think that too. not just what are we taught about money, but also how do you feel about the money. Because I know me personally, with before I really started learning more about money and that it's important to budget, I have it and I'm going to spend it because I have it. Whether I have enough to do whatever X, Y, and Z, I paid this bill, this bill, this bill. Let's go and do this. Let's go out here. Let's go travel there. Let's buy these clothes. Let's buy these bottles for these people just because I can. Not because I
Yeah.
should, but I can.
I think it's you want to get a glimpse and a taste of financial freedom, but it's a false financial freedom. Like spending
Right.
all that money, you're just like, oh yeah, must be what the good life is. But then I'm
Right.
telling you, it was so sobering waking up the next morning and just been like,
Yeah. Why did you
what?
do this? What is
Yeah,
that?
yeah,
Well,
yeah.
your account didn't go negative, right? You it
No, it didn't go
yeah.
negative,
That's
but
not
woo,
everybody can say that. That's good.
woo,
Yeah.
woo,
Man. And then it didn't go anywhere. It just went to that night. Now what?
that night.
That's it.
And I don't
Yeah.
remember anything else from that night
Exactly.
besides the money I
Like,
spent.
what is that? You said the work thing for the Drake song. I was thinking about that other lyric from the old song. I just heard it the other day. Oh crap. I live for the nights with the people I forget. You know what I'm trying to say, right?
Oh, yeah, 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 yeah.
So
Wow.
that lyric, and it's like if it was at least one of those, great. But at this point, especially with both of us being on the other side of 30, if everything has to be done with intention, including spending my money. If I'm not getting anything back, my return on it, what's the purpose? What is it doing?
Mm,
Why am I spending my time here? Because
mm.
like, ain't no more time to be wasting and playing.
Yeah, yeah, I saw somebody, that said somebody earlier said that they've met people who they didn't like, but they've never met a dollar they didn't like. Something like that. I don't
I've
remember. I
heard
may be
that.
misquoted, but
Yeah.
yeah, good times. Like I think about it now and I laugh and I'm because the only thing you could do is live and learn and laugh about it.
True.
I'm just like,
You have to. It's good because not having done that, you wouldn't have learned, been able to tell anybody or know, oh, okay, yeah, that was dumb. Let me not do that again. Because, oh,
yeah. So I know we were talking about like having a glimpse or a taste of financial freedom, and then our actions in the past, it was like a false financial freedom. But what does financial freedom actually look like to you? Like if you was like, oh, this is what financial freedom would be for me, what does that actually look like?
when my paycheck hits and it's a decent amount, but I can't see it. Like I'm looking at my bank account and that check hit, and I'm like, did my account go up? What? I'm so confused. That yeah, I need that in my life.
Mm.
Yeah.
Here's an interesting thought. Have you ever made a wrong financial move that led to the right result?
Hmm. Like accidentally doing something and it was, oh, this was great.
Yeah, it could be that, or it could be something that you did intentionally, and then it just had ended up being a positive outcome, even though it was the wrong move to begin with.
Um, let me think. I may have, and it's not coming to mind right now. I know that I did get you know what? I think the biggest one for me is paying rent. Like I hated it so much. And,
Mhm.
you're just throwing money, but I didn't realize that at the same time I was throwing my money, it was building my credit. It felt wrong, but it was right because it was building my credit, even though I couldn't, in the midst of it, I couldn't see where it was going.
Okay.
Yeah. But I'm still working. So I know I'm probably doing stuff. Well, not now as much, but I know I was probably doing some stuff that was just, why did you do this? This was dumb. But hey, figured it out, went on about business and made it work for me.
Mm.
What's yours? What did you do? I know you did something.
Yeah, so, for me, I think more on the lines of the people who I had in my life and the relationships that I were having, not necessarily romantic relationships, but just like the relationships that I had with like friends, family,
Right.
other people, things like that. And how, you know, spending money to be around certain people or even to put myself in certain environments or even getting business partners or business acquaintances that you thought were going to be good and it ended up being terrible. But the thing is, it put me in the right place at the right time to meet certain people to really expand
That's
where
good.
I'm at now.
I like that better than what I said. It made me think about that made me think about grad school. After graduating with my bachelor's 2017, I've gone to grad school on two separate occasions for two separate degrees. And on both times, I'm spending money like, oh yeah, I'm excited. This is the degree I want. I can't wait. And then as I progress in the program, nah, this ain't what I want to do. Because, you know, in grad school, you're focused on whatever it is versus undergrad. And it's all these gen ed courses. So you get more of a rounded thing. But grad school, if you know if this is what you want to do, you'll know it within a semester or two because you're in the meat of it. And so both times I was like, yeah, this isn't it. And I spent money. I spent some of
Mhm.
my money. I spent some of the government's money because, you know, student loans going to school and I got to pay that back and then didn't go. But I learned a lot about myself, what I want, what I don't want, what I'm ready for, what I don't feel I'm ready for in the process. And I'm just not one of those spend the money to make money things, even though with it, it would have been a degree I had. But I'm grateful for the experience.
Yeah. One of the things that I'm learning about money is that the more rich the person is and the more wealthy they are, the better they budget. So I was hanging out with this
Everything.
millionaire the other day, and he was telling me we were talking about the Beyonce concert and how he was like, yeah, it would really be nothing for me to go and have the good seats, not the one where you're watching the
The
TV.
nosebleeds. Yeah.
like no, he was like, it would be nothing for me to have the good seats, but it wasn't in my budget. And I was
Whoa. Right.
like, man,
Why
like,
do I
and
need this? What is it going to
like,
do for me?
yeah,
Yeah.
and I'm telling you, he could drop some commas. He could drop some commas with no problem, but like the 200 or 300, however much they were, nothing. He was
Yeah.
just like not in the budget. I
Yeah.
was just like, wow, interesting,
Perspective.
interesting.
So I've been noticing that too, you know, following the page, some of the pages I look at for these mindset things and what the people ahead of me have done. And everything is on is on a budget, like schedule, all of that. My money is on a schedule, my time, my meal planning, working out, like everything. And it's like, okay, I'm trying to get here, but I have no order in my life. I have no discipline in my life. I have no intention in my life. And when you look at the people with the money and you feel like, oh, they're having fun because they have the money, they're doing this, they're doing that, but you don't see the work that they're putting in until you actually look at what they're doing. And I've noticed now, because that mindset shift after you hit 30, and I'm noticing things I didn't see before. You see what you want to see. You see, oh, they're having fun. Oh, they have money. Now you see, how did you do that? Oh, you're wearing a $2 t-shirt instead of the $20 shirt with the horseman and the rider on it. Like, oh, okay, that makes sense. You know,
Yeah. Let me ask you this. So, being in the finance industry, and a lot of people think it's just math, it's just numbers, it's just dollar and cents. When did you realize, whether you realized this before or after you got in the industry, when did you realize that money has an emotional attachment to it?
So honestly, I realized it as a kid, but it didn't click
Okay.
until
Okay.
after I had my child. Yeah. As a kid, it's the, oh, I have money and I can spend it. I can do this, I can do that, and how it made me feel. Like I have this money, I'm rich. I can buy this, I can buy that, I can go here. It's, my key to certain places, certain conversations, things like that. And as an adult and having my own child, because when I had my own apartment, things like that, when I didn't have her, it was I was responsible for myself. If I spent all my money and ran out of groceries before I'm ready to buy groceries again, that's my problem. I got to figure it out. I can just not eat or pull up on my grandma and eat whatever she cooked. Like it's cool. Now with the child who was dependent on me for these things, it's like, okay, now I can't be stupid, because if I do, that's your life that I'm messing with. That's your childhood memories that you have. Like my mommy did this and I don't know why, or I didn't understand, or she can't teach me this, she can't teach me that. And so if I allow my emotions to continue running anything, especially my money, that affects people aside from me at this point in life. And it was the, keeping that in perspective.
Mm, okay. Okay. That's interesting how you're talking about bringing your child into it and being more intentional with how you do things, because I was having a conversation with my family the other day. This was Sunday, and they were talking about one. They were talking about the Tyler Perry movie, right? Um,
Straw, right?
yeah, yeah, and they were just like, why? My brother asked the question, why aren't there more women empowerment stories? Why is it
Mhm.
always like, oh,
Tyler
life,
Perry.
like life is just beating me
Yeah,
down every which way I go? And so I was thinking, I was like, well, what were the moves that got them into that situation? And if we know, hey, these are the
yeah,
moves that lead down to the pitfalls, why
yeah.
don't we make the opposite? I don't know. I don't
That's
know.
like that thing that you say, and I've been feeling it too, and I've realized I've been saying it to myself too. There's two sides to everything: bread, coins, paper, a door. If you're looking at it on one side and you see problems, flip it over, and that's probably, the solution, the side you need to be looking at.
Yeah.
And yeah, I get that. And I mean, I don't want to go down this rabbit hole, but women have been depicted a certain way all of the time, and I'm definitely not gonna go down the how Tyler Perry is depicting us in his movies and stuff. But it definitely helps to look at the decisions, not just for women and of course women empowerment, but I want to change this, I want to do this. What are you doing? What are you not doing? How are you doing things? When? Why? Back to being intentional.
Mm,
Yeah. A lot of
yeah.
self-reflection, self-inventory needs to be taken every day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just like how you keep saying, being more intentional
Yeah.
about your life and everything. So what are some of the moves that you're making that that go into being more intentional and creating the life you want? Like one, you know, we talk about a lot of times that entrepreneurial journey. So you got that, you got motherhood, you got just your life in general. Like just tell us more about like these moves that you're making.
My favorite, and I feel like the most important, is my Bible study. I do Bible study 3 times a week, and then like with the class that I'm with, and then in between on my own. And I understand not everybody is religious, not everybody may believe in God, but for me it has been life changing. It really, it gives life. And um
Like tell us a little bit more. Like give us an insight.
okay. So let me see. Okay, so like what me you and I were talking about, I don't think we mentioned it since we started recording, but how we were talking about regrets that we had from 10 years ago, five. I don't think we started talking about that again. But it's just remembering the scripture, I cannot think of it off the top of my head. I believe it's in Ecclesiastes, where God isn't looking at where you came from, but where you ended up, especially with when He calls you for a purpose. And for me, I have made many a stupid decision in my life, not knowing that it was not just because before you understand God and His word, you are in darkness, but not knowing well, not for me, understanding that the things I do affect other people, because
Oh
for
yeah.
a long time I didn't understand that. I felt I was inside of myself because of things I dealt with, growing up, stuff like that. And so coming into Christ officially, finally, I learned that it's not about how you started, but where you end up. Yes, the person I was where I started wasn't the best. I needed to work on her. But now the person that I am becoming is aware of that, doesn't want to be like that, is working and making strides at not being that way, not just for me, for my child, but because God is calling me to do it for Him, to get into His kingdom, things like that. So, having to forgive myself, give myself grace. And if it wasn't for that, I know I'd be stuck in a hole, spiritually speaking, not trying to come out, not trying to do things, not trying to live. And that, I believe that God doesn't do things to you. He does it for other people. So you may feel like you're going through something, it's too big for you, it's this, is that, and He's wanting you, bring that to me. It's never too big for me. Let me help you, let me heal you, and then place you where I need to place you, because I gave you these experiences. And these people need to hear that story. These people need to see you now, because you're showing what you've been through by what you say, like, hey, I remember when I was there. Hey, this is what I look like now. Hey, these are the things that I do now. You can get here too, because I was where you are and look where I am now. But you can't get there until you grow through it. And there's no better healer than God. That's what He does.
Oh yeah, there's a lot that goes into that because
Yeah.
you were kind of hinting on how people say it's for your good, but for His glory. Where it's
Right.
just like, okay, how did you go from here to here? And it's just like, yeah, this benefited me, but let me tell you how. I didn't do it.
Right.
God did it. Yeah. And it reminds me of, I was talking to Pastor Sunday, and we were talking about the line of how the truth will set you free. And we were talking about like, hey, one
Yes.
of the things, if you apply the principles from the Bible to your finances will absolutely change.
Yeah.
But we were talking about how the truth will set you free. And everybody like quotes that, and it's a common saying. But we were thinking about like, what if you applied that to more things in your life? To know the truth about something, then it will set you free in that area. So for
Yeah.
example, finance. If you know the truth about finance, you can then become financially free. People want to become financially free but not know the truth about
Anything.
how finances work, and then it's just like, okay, well, did you go back to the book and what did it say and things like that?
Right.
So
Ask questions.
it's it's very interesting. I'm realizing there's a lot of things that when I stop and actually think about it, not just quoting things because it's things that we heard, but when you stop and actually think about it, it just makes you go, hmm,
Yeah.
interesting.
Right. That makes me think about one. I told you this before. A good friend of mine said something last year that has stuck with me, where she said a company will teach you to sell the product they want you to sell. And that applies to so many different things, especially with so many people don't know the basic things about finances that will help them out of where they are, because you're not supposed to be where you are with finances. It's what we've been taught. So we feel like this is where we're supposed to be. We're supposed to struggle. We're supposed to not have. We're supposed to, stay in that struggle mindset. Somebody's showing you different. Nope, I can't come out of that. Apply that to the Bible. Jesus said, I am the way, the truth, and the life. Here I am. All of the Old Testament pointed to me coming. Here's everybody else. No, you're not. That's not what you're doing. That's not why you're here. And I'm not saying, of course, that that's what finance is, but it still relates, it still fits there. And then a thing that I've been learning is knowledge, faith, and action. Without knowledge, you can't have faith in something. It doesn't, you don't know it. And if you don't know it to have faith in it, you can't do anything about it. You can't have action. So without knowledge, you can't have faith and you can't make a move. So you can have all these wants, these dreams, these hopes, these desires and goals or markers. But if you don't know anything, if you're not seeking knowledge, if you're not asking questions, if you're not being intentional in these things, faith without work is dead. You just out here,
Yeah.
blind in the dark,
And then having the knowledge and then not doing anything is not wise
right?
at all. And and so especially for our community, one of the things, like, even with dealing with finances, and you got to just sometimes just take a step back and just let it be, is the contrast of, like, faith and finances, where people be like, oh, that can't happen for me, oh, that's just for them, oh, I'll never make it, oh,
Struggle mindset.
yeah, the struggle, but then
Yeah.
it's like, oh, you only need the faith of a mustard seed,
Yes.
and oh, I could
Yeah.
do all
All of
things
this
through
stuff in
Christ,
the
and
Bible.
I'm just like,
All this preach.
wait a minute, how can those two things both be true? How
Right.
can you have all of these, like, nothing's impossible, but I can't?
It's an excuse. It doesn't have to sound good to anybody except for that person. This is the reason why I can't. And it's never because I truly can't, it's because I don't know. And that's really it, the knowledge. You just need the knowledge.
I I would even take it a step further and say, is it really just the knowledge or is it the belief? Because you can have
Mhm.
the stuff that
Faith.
we talk about, it's like, here is the knowledge.
Mhm.
Now it's whether you choose to believe that this is true.
Seeing it this everything, like at this point in my life, especially coming into the Bible like I need to, I in my head I keep relating everything back to the Bible. And John 1:1 says that God is the word is God. In the beginning the word was with him and it was God. Everything is God. So, when it's time, when God says, I'm ready for you to know this, you're ready to know this, you're gonna know, you're gonna see, you're gonna understand. But you have to allow it for yourself because nobody can block God's blessings but you. And it's the thought for me that as long as you are allowing yourself to stay where you are, that's where you're going to be, despite other people showing you different, showing you better. And
Yeah.
there's another point I was going to make, and I'm not going to lie, I lost my train of thought.
Hey, it's all good because they say the Lord works in mysterious
Yes,
ways,
yes.
and when how everything is connected, when I start thinking about things like that, it's like sometimes the answer may not come in the way that you want it to come.
Mm-hmm.
It may not be packaged in the way that you want it to come.
Mm-hmm.
I think about it, especially when we give people solutions to their financial problems. And I think about it in the way, like Henry Ford said when, they built the Model T, and he was like, well, if you would have asked people what they wanted during this time, they wouldn't have said a car, they would have said faster horses. And so it's just like,
Valid.
oh, I want a solution to these problems. And sometimes it's like an annuity, life insurance. And they're like, ah,
That's not what I need.
yeah, I want faster horses. You over here
Right.
talking about a car.
And that's thinking if this doesn't work, why are you trying to fix it instead of let's upgrade, let's look for better, let's look for different, let's see what does work. I like following people who are doing the things that I'm either doing or want to do. Like
Oh, yeah.
following other single parents, not just moms, single parents. How are you thriving as a single parent? How are you creating a business as a single parent? Just the things, because what works for you may work for me. What doesn't. But at the same time, I need to expand my mind.
Hmm.
Not gonna quote Friday, I almost did. But um,
So
yeah.
what is something that you're looking forward to so that it can be that growth to help you thrive?
What do you mean?
just like, do you have anything that's going to help you personally, professionally, financially, just something in all your areas of your life? Because one of the things that I talk about constantly is, getting into new environments. Like one of the things
Yeah.
that I feel like so many people I know, we want to be that rose that grew through the concrete. We want to tell people, oh, I did it. Look at me. I survived, even though we're beat up. Like our rose petals are all scratched up, but we just want to prove a point instead of being like, why don't you just plant yourself in some soil,
Yeah.
get yourself some
Good
fertilizer,
soil.
some miracle grow? It's like there's
You
a
did not.
whole field right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
There's a whole field where you could thrive, but it's like,
yes,
nah, I'm gonna stay and push through this concrete.
yes.
Basketballs are gonna get slammed on me. Like,
I think about listen to old songs a lot. That Kendrick Lamar, Butterfly and Hell. Just I want to. I feel like okay. For anybody listening to talk to me, I'm gonna talk to you about Jesus. So I'm just saying, just to throw that out there. So the biggest thing is understanding more of these parables, the way God speaks to us, the things that God wants us to know. Understanding them more, being able to spit them just on a drop of a dime, that's the big one. And then aside from that is getting into new environments, experiencing other things and learning myself in that environment. And that relates, of course, to God's word because God's word is standard. God's word is law. And without it, you're working on your own law, which is fickle because humans are fickle. So as you change environments, the environment is supposed to change, but not the person. So as I go through my journey, getting to wherever it is God is leading me, and I'm setting this example for my daughter, I need her to see as well as my to prove to myself and to God I can be that good servant. I can be who you need me to be in these different environments, who you need me to be, not who Satan or somebody else wants me to be, but who God needs me to be. And in doing that, everything else will fall into place. My spiritual life, my parenting, parenthood, mother life, finance life, my business, professional life, like wholeheartedly, strongly, 10 toes believe that.
one thing I will say is that when you mentioned your daughter,
Mhm.
the children of the people in the company have opened so many doors for their parents. It's ridiculous. Just
Oh,
the
she
way
does that.
they have that childlike innocence and just
Yes.
unafraid, that boldness.
Oh,
I'm
yes.
telling you, there's recent stories now where it's like, my child just walked up to this person, didn't know who they were,
Yes.
and next thing you know,
Talking.
boom.
Give me a hug. And I'm like, girl, you don't know. I don't know. Then why are we hugging these people? Smiling, waving. I'm just okay. And it's been great for me because I'm not a shy person. If you talk to me, I'll talk back. I might even strike up conversation. But I'm one of those people who people, but especially being in the people business, you gotta talk, you gotta get used to it. And I'm horrible at small talk. Give me a deep conversation, let's go. But how are you today? Oh, look at the weather. I can't do that. It's so difficult. Enter my child. Let's get a hug. What you doing? What are you looking at? Let me play with this. And we're off on conversation. It's forcing me to grow, but it's been amazing because without it, you're stagnant. What's the
Oh
point of stagnation?
man, I know we're going to have to wrap up soon. So
Yeah, I gotta go
I
get her.
I do remember that I said have this deck of cards. And so what
Yes,
I'm
that
gonna
is
do
right.
is I'm gonna run my thumb through them,
All right, pick a card in the
and
card.
you let me know when to stop. And that's the card I'll ask you.
All right,
Let me get them stacked up real good here and go.
born ready. Stop.
Okay.
Are we halfway through or halfway into it? Half empty, half full.
What's one concept that you've never understood?
One concept is that like
That
broad, any concept in general.
yeah, any concept. What's one concept that you never understood?
Um, People who just lie when the truth will do. I can't stand people who lie. I get if you don't know that you're telling a lie, you just don't know. But when you look somebody in the face and you tell a bold faced lie, like, why? What was your thought process? Why did you do that? I don't understand. And that's anything, not just people in relationships, friendships, um, romantic, but also people's managers do that. People's advisors do that. Everybody I feel like can do that. Anybody at any time, anywhere, and it's why. Just give me the truth. Let me be sad. Let me be mad. Let me be feel stuck because I got to figure something else out. Just don't lie.
Hmm. You went in a completely different
I
direction
figured
than
I
I
did.
thought.
That's what I
Yeah,
do though.
yeah, because the thing that first came to mind was when I took vector calculus in college,
Ooh.
and the professor was writing on the board, and he was writing this is still one math equation. He wrote it from one side of the board, it got to the other side of the board, and then he said, Super Mario Bros, and then he said bloop and kept writing again. And I was just
That
like,
is good. That is
I
good.
said, nope, not for me.
But that couldn't be mine because I think I'm that nerd. I like math. Now, my favorite TV show is A Different World. I don't care that we're not in that decade anymore. It's my favorite TV show after Abbott Elementary for today's time. But Dwayne Wayne said how his favorite subject in school is math because no matter where you go, math is the same. Math is math. You may go to a different country and their history is their history, and you don't click, hey, your history class is not the same history class I would take in my country. But the math is still the same math. In science, we use this system here. They use a different system in a different country, but math is always the same. It never changes. And that was the same reason I love math. So I enjoyed it. So it wasn't a big, not a big thing, but it wasn't a thing for me that, oh, this is insane. Now I will say when we got up to like Cal and Trig and everything, and we're putting in the F thing and X and Y with the letters, okay, cool. But that big F thing, I don't remember what it was, and the affinity symbol and some other things, it's like, hold up, is that a
And,
different language
and
inside of my
imaginary
number equation?
numbers.
Yeah, like what are we making up numbers for real? I don't what is happening here? That was when
Mhm.
I said, okay, let me leave this alone and go over the psychology major, but
Yeah.
I still
I'm like,
enjoyed
can,
it.
can you do this math equation using M&Ms? Like, because I need to see it.
Yeah, right. Like, yeah, I did at times, even though I was just eating candy instead of doing my assignment, but still.
Look, you can't. If you could show me how to eat an imaginary M&M, maybe I'll understand.
You
you
have to
know,
learn that. So I can
vector
understand
calculus
that.
and quantum physics and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, I did not go that high. If I went up that far with the math, I might not have loved it as much. But it was just I like the steadiness of it. It felt secure, safe. Math as a whole. Math is math. No
All right.
question.
Well, I know this is definitely a conversation we will definitely continue. But for now, is there anything that you want to leave the viewers with?
It's such an open-ended thing. There's so many different things I can say. Um, I will say, I will say the most important thing that you can do is ask a question. If you don't know, if you're confused, if you're scared, if you're struggling with something, pick a person and ask a question, whatever it is. If they don't know, prayerfully they'll say, I don't know. Then you pick a new person and ask. But don't, allow yourself to be deprived of whatever it is because you don't know how to open up your mouth and say something. Because what they say, closed mouths don't get fed. And that's in the Bible. I'm just saying. I'm always
All
gonna
right.
leave it
All right. We'll end it on that one. So it's been another great episode. Jazz, I appreciate you for coming on,
there.
having
Thank
this
you for
conversation.
asking.
I know there will be more to this. And just for everybody else watching, y'all have a great day. Bye
Yes.
bye. Bye bye. Bye
Appreciate
bye.
you all.